Morning. How we doing? Welcome back to All Right, What's Next? What we got going on today, I'm going to show you how to replace a hammer handle. Fiberglass handle, not a wooden handle. I don't like wooden handles. They're all right. They have their place, just not in these big pounding mallets. So, you ever used one of these things? If you're ever freaking just beating the holy hell out of something and you miss what you're freaking smashing, and the handle comes down and it strikes the edge and just snaps the head right off? Yeah, me neither, because I've got good aim. But it does happen to other people, and one of them people that broke it gave me the hammerhead. It's like, I don't want to put a handle in it. If you want to, go right ahead. Now, he already went through the process of cleaning it out, so I'm not going to be able to show you that. If you need to know how to clean it out, you take a drill and you drill through it, and then you might have to take a chisel, an old beat to shit chisel, or a Dremel with a grinding bit or something, and get in there and remove the remaining epoxy and shit that holds the handle in place. Now, why would you freaking put a handle in rather than just going and buying a new hammer? Because you can pick up a 2-pound mallet for like 15 bucks. Now, if you shopped around at like Harbor Freight, and if they got a coupon, fuck, you probably pick one up for 10 bucks. Even cheaper if it's got a wooden handle and a fiberglass handle. So, reasons for putting a new handle in. 1, A, you're not right in the head. Or B, this is a precious family heirloom and you just cannot part with it. So you're going to put a handle in it and keep using it. Or C, you've got a stupid YouTube channel and you were desperate need for content. 2 of those apply to me. You can probably figure out which ones. This was handed down to me from my dad, and he got it from his dad, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So now I've got a hammerhead and no handle. Got on Amazon, found a handle, 18 bucks. Fiberglass handle. I typed in a search of fiberglass handle replacement 2-pound hammer. And the first search that came up was the handle that I just assumed was for a mallet. I didn't read the description. I didn't look at the dimensions. I did see right below the handle on the search result was a hammer with a handle already in it for the same price. But I bought the handle. And because I didn't read the description, this is what I got. It's got a little bit of slop to it. It doesn't, I could probably shim this up, or I could just epoxy it in like that. But it's not gonna work quite the way I intended it to work. So now I have this little dinky frickin' tap and hammer handle with nothing for it to go in. So I'll probably just shit can the handle, keep the epoxy for something. So there's 18 bucks down the tube for a $15 hammer, probably even less. So I did the next logical step, and that was to get on Amazon again and buy another handle. This one was a little over $24. So now I'm like roughly a little over $40 in to a $15 fucking hammer. Brilliant. But it's content, you know, so gotta have that freaking video. Now I did have to do a little bit of modification to this. This here had a wedge shape to it, and it wouldn't quite fit into here. So I had to take my Dremel and smooth it off until I got a good, nice, snug fit. It was all of like freaking a minute's worth of work. Now, I just take my Dremel and we'll clean up the inside of this a little bit better. Get any paint and shit out of there. It's probably not wholly necessary. You know, it ain't necessary. I don't want to do that. We're just gonna go ahead and mix up some freaking resin. I need a knife. Now, this video is about putting a fiberglass handle in, not a wooden handle. If you choose to use a wooden handle, it comes, the handle will be pre-split. It'll have a split down it. The head will go in there and it comes with a metal wedge. You stick the wedge in there, smack it down with a hammer, expands it out, holds the fucking head onto the handle. Pretty simple. If you can watch the video where I made this hammer. If I remember, I'll put a link to it. And that's how I put that that hammer head onto that handle, except I used a wooden wedge for that. But it's fiberglass, not wood. It comes with instructions. Clean, fit, apply shot or BB as filler if required, if seal leaks. All right, so it's got, what is this, sealant? Yeah, so this shit will go around the bottom of the hammerhead to seal it all into place, so that the resin doesn't freaking come pouring out. I think I should put gloves on. The gloves probably be a good thing to have. The resin's kind of fucking nasty. Come on, go on there. All right, that's down on there, fairly centered. That's how I drop a fucking really heavy vise on my foot. Where's my goop? There's that stuff. Well, I was assuming this was 2 pieces, but I guess it's not. Kind of an excessively large amount of goddamn resin. Yeah, good. Looks. That's why you put on gloves. Should probably have a respirator on too, because it kind of stinks. From what I hear about resin, is that it has a cumulative effect that your body cannot process the resin toxins out. So anything that's absorbed through your skin or you breathe in will just stay in you forever, and eventually you'll build up a reaction to it, and if you breathe resin fumes, then you can have a violent allergic reaction to it, from what I've heard. I don't know. Mix it up good until it's freaking nice and white and snotty looking. And anything extra that's sticking out of the top when you're done with this, you just take a grinder to it, grind it off flush. I need something smaller to shove down in there. Fuck. Ah, come with the fucking stirring stick. More resin. That is probably enough resin. Now, we sit and we wait. This has got about a 90-minute working time. We'll have to let it sit overnight before we have a usable hammer, hopefully. Otherwise, or it didn't work and the handle will come flying off and hurt somebody. All right, so the resin is cured. The hammer handle, well, it's not quite done. It fucking leaked. I did not spend enough time with the sealer band right here. As you can see, it freaking it came up and spooged out across the top right there, and out where the two seams met, leaked down. And because it leaked, how you can see that, but the resin isn't all the way at the top. So, not a big deal. All I'm gonna do, go over to the bandsaw right now, and I'm gonna freaking cut this protruding end off, and then I will just mix up some of this freaking Gorilla 5-minute epoxy and top it off. The first thing, let's get this freaking band off of there. With that band, we can also just take a chisel and remove these drips. Now, this I guess goes pretty much right along with my channel. It wouldn't be one of my videos probably if I didn't royally fuck something up. With that leak, it's making it exceedingly difficult to get this off here. Right here is the reason why you should always have a set of cheap chisels laying around that you don't care too much about. There's always a reason to scrape something. There, nice and flush. Fill that up with a little bit of epoxy. That handle is like just massive overkill for this tiny little hammerhead. It gives you a lot of leverage to really smash the shit out of something. Now, something else I'm going to do to this hammer before it's usable. Let's see how. Come in here. Let's see if I can get this to focus or not. Come on, there you go. Can you see the little crack in that hammerhead? And then let's see, where's it at? Right there, there's a little chunk missing. There's another crack right there. And you see how the head is a little bit mushroomed out. And take a grinder to it, and I'm smooth these the mushrooming out. And then once I get the mushrooming smoothed out, then I'll take and I'll put a little bit of a chamfer, a fucking angle. I will put a little bit of a fucking angle on there and remove all of that mushrooming. Because leaving that on there, once you start beating on shit, what's gonna happen, you're gonna slam it down on a piece of metal, and that crack is gonna freaking go all the way through, and a little piece of metal is gonna come off of there, and it's gonna go flying. That's how you end up freaking losing an eye, or you should see my brother's x-ray. He has a piece of steel embedded up inside of his freaking head because of a chunk of hammerhead broke off and flew up, hit him right here, went through his freaking whatever this area is called and into his skull, and it's embedded up in there. Surgery, they couldn't find the goddamn thing when they went in for surgery, but it's still a badass freaking x-ray. You should have that thing like framed with some sort of lighted background. So it's definitely a good idea to look at your hammers, and if they're getting this mushroom effect, grind them off, smooth them off, put a little bit of an angle on there, and that'll reduce the chance of that metal shit fucking flying off and ruining your day or your life. Do that to your chisels too. Not these kind of chisels, because why would you take a fucking grinder to a plastic handled chisel? But like your metal chisels, your metalworking stuff, or your punches, if they've got any sort of mushrooming, grind them things off, put a little bit of a freaking angle on them, and reduce that chance of that metal flying off of there. I've been to the hospital I think 4 times in my life to get steel dug out of my eyeball. Even with safety glasses on, I wear them religiously at work. Well, it's the rules for one thing. But I keep getting freaking steel that it will find its way in. I will have safety glasses on, I will have a face shield on, and something will find its way through a gap somewhere. I had them get me a pair of safety glasses that had this big padded foam seal all the way around. So you put it on, there was no freaking way anything could get in there except where the foam met the nose piece. There was probably less than a goddamn millimeter of gap between that foam and the nose piece, and a little tiny freaking spark off of a grinder went through there and went into my goddamn eye. Another trip to the hospital. Now, at work, I've kind of rectified that. I've finally came up with a solution to keep that shit from getting in there, I got a sandblasting hood. So when I have to do any sort of metal work, grinding, stuff like that, I've got a complete and total hood that comes all the way down to here. And so far, since I got that, I've had it for about 5 years. I haven't been back to the hospital to have steel dug out of my freaking eyeball. So keep after your hammerheads and your punches, metal chisels, shit like that. That's a good fucking safety tip right there. You might have learned something if you didn't already know that. And safety is so important. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, whatever, all that other crap that you do on YouTube. I don't know how it fucking works. Hit the like button, I think. Supposed to do that. Send me money. That'd be cool. Later.